Hello, this is Gina, and I wanted to introduce you to my first session of Breakfast with Billionaires. And I'm wearing a hoodie to give a shout out to Silicon Valley, which has a lot of billionaires. But the first book we're reading is 0 to 1, and it's written by Peter Thiel. I'm a little embarrassed to say that I did not know, last week I did not know who Peter Thiel was. Of course, I heard of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, all those big guys, but I wasn't familiar with the guy behind PayPal. And also, he has a team of guys he started PayPal with called the PayPal Mafia, and they've all spun off to be billionaires in their own right as well. And I just kind of got sucked into this black hole of just people that are completely changing the world. I mean, just to give you a couple of ideas of what he's done and his group of people is, he was the angel investor for Facebook with $500,000. He was the first one that got in that. Airbnb, LinkedIn, Planeteer, SpaceX, which is trying to go to Mars, Spotify, Lyft, the vehicles that can come pick you up, connecting the people that need rides with people that have a ride. ZocDoc, which is online appointments for doctors. I mean, this guy's behind all of those. So, wanted to do a little information about him. And his book, just to give you some background, was co-written by Blake Masters. And what it is a compilation of the notes that Peter gave during the Stanford class for startups. So if you've got time, I would highly suggest that you go on to Google and type in Stanford business class on how to start startups. And that will pop up with basically all these superstars from Silicon Valley teaching these classes at Stanford. And it's all free, it's all online, the videos of it as well as the notes. Now Blake was sitting in the audience taking really good notes, which then he posted those notes onto Tumblr. Well, it got on like Hacker Magazine or something where they posted a link to that and the notes went viral. So Peter reached out to Blake and said, hey, would you mind just co-authoring this book with me? Obviously, he's a busy guy. He needs someone to help him out. And so what I wanted to say is shout out to Blake for being at the right place at the right time. I like your style, man. That's awesome. So anyways, this is 200 pages. It's a pretty condensed version of the class, but it's pretty much the main points. And what I did for you is just take out the 10 points I found most valuable. All right, so put them over here on the board. So the first piece of information that he tries to stress is that these new businesses, these groundbreaking businesses, it's really hard and difficult to get them started, and it's really hard to find that new idea, which is what we've been missing lately. So he's kind of urging us, we don't need more copies of the same, we need massive progress. Okay, each one of these new businesses is like a snowflake. They're all individual and unique, and we don't need to keep copying from the same. 3, more of the same means more competition. And I'm a business background, so I mean, I've been competitive my whole life, whether it be sports or school or scholastic, business, whatever. So he's actually saying competition is bad. He says competition upsets focus, it dilutes the profits, and it stifles the progress. Okay, that really turned one of my ideas on its head. Okay, I always thought competition was a good thing, but he says that people like these trends, and that's why he doesn't hire MBAs. He says MBAs, they study the trends. When they get out and they graduate, they want to go towards already what's working. Well, he's trying to find what's the new thing, what's the next new thing. He wants to be way ahead of that curve. Competition gets us to focus on how we make the money, and he's just saying, please question, why are you doing this? Why are you competing for this? 5, he says we are way behind, that tech has really stalled out. He mentioned that in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, we had, as a country, we were so positive about the future of technology. We were thinking it was going to be flying cars and trips to outer space, and nowadays it's like all the movies show these robots coming to attack us, and that the future doesn't have a good side for technology. So that's pretty silly. he tries to get us out of that thinking. 6, monopolies don't strangle innovation. Monopolies drive innovation. The profits that these monopolies have are allowing them to think long term, and they're allowing them to finance these ambitious goals which we need. So he gave the example of Google as being a monopoly in that they actually can have enough money to care about their employees, and they want to create new things, and they've got the money to do that. And a monopoly is actually the sign and the condition of every successful business, okay? I always thought monopoly was like a dirty word, but he's saying it's not. So that's a good way to think. 7, school is competitive. He went to Stanford as an undergraduate, went to Stanford as a graduate with a law degree, and then he was in law for like 7 months before he realized, why am I doing this? I don't want to be here. So he said that you can get very caught up in the competition and not realize why you're really doing things. 8, he says, the way to start a startup is to start small. You want total domination on a very small segment of the market. So he gave the example of Amazon. It started out with books, okay? They were all about the same size, about the same ability to ship them. So they got their foot in the door with that, and then obviously they cataloged anything you could possibly buy is going to be on Amazon. So that was a way to get their foot in the door as a monopoly. Now he says planning. Planning awaits, or victory awaits those who have things in order. So he says that most of us think that these people make a lot of money because they're so lucky. And he says that can really get you feeling hopeless, that you will not try because you feel like it's such a random thing. So he says not random, these people are actually planning. That's a good take-home message. I like that one. And then the power law. It's just, I think he's trying to tell us you don't have to start every little thing because it's not always going to do well. And he says if you work for a good company, say like Google, and you had 0.01% of Google stock, you'd be worth $35 million. Okay? And people get all excited about having 100% ownership on this startup stuff. Well, if you have 100% of $0 because it failed, you have $0. So it would be better off for you to leverage your power having 0.01% of a monopoly versus 100% of something that's going to fail. So that's a good take-home message as well. And then the last thing is that he encourages us to not feel like it's all been done already, and that because we have a map of the world and we know every point on the map has been GPSed and everything, it doesn't mean that there's still not secrets and there's still not truths that we need to find out. So he has an interview question he asks for every candidate, and it says, what truth do few agree with you on? What truth do few agree with you on? And that's how he finds the next best startup. It's by that question. So I want to encourage you to go read more about Peter, find out all the businesses he's done. If you're interested in doing your own startup, obviously you need to go and watch that class. I was on the treadmill for a couple of hours with all the different seminars. It's like a 45 to 55 minute long seminars that he does. So I'd really encourage you to do that. And thanks for watching. The next book is going to be about Sheryl Sandberg, who's the COO of Facebook, and that will be the next one. I hope you can join. Thanks.